What is going on, everybody? It is Alex coming back at you with another video, and today it's going to be a little bit later this week, but it's going to be a stock up, stock down from week 4 of college football. As you guys can see, some of these guys have been making some big moves. So without further ado, let's kick right into the video because we got no time to waste, and plus, this is a really fun one, so I'm excited to show because I'm willing to admit that I'm wrong on some players because being conscious about the fact that I might be wrong is just going to get us absolutely nowhere because, again, watching good football is always more fun than being right. Starting up, per usual, with stock up, CJ Stroud. So somebody who everybody called me the biggest hater. He was quarterback 4 for me at the start of the year, still a first-round quality player. And then I sat him as quarterback 2 last week. People still said I was a hater. You know what? You guys can think whatever you want. He's still a QB2, but he's moving up in the rankings to 13 from 27. He looked very, very, very good versus Wisconsin. Very happy to see that. Again, it was not his wide receivers that made the game. It was him getting to his elite wide receivers that made the game. Finally, I felt like he was at least equal component to an elite receiving core in a dominant victory over a very good opponent. So, good for CJ. Very proud of him. That's a very good job. Again, I'm willing to admit, hey, I wasn't exactly right. Which, again, quarterback 4 to 2 is not that big of a difference. But, for the people who say that I'm an absolute CJ Stroud hater, there you go. Now, let's go on to the next guy, John Michael Schmidt, sticking to the Big Ten. Minnesota just absolutely whooped ass versus Michigan State, which kind of sucks because I do like Michigan State quite a bit. But John Michael Schmitz has been one of the highest graded offensive linemen in the country, if not the highest. So the guy's been balling out. I watched him play as well. He was my center. He was actually my center 1. He was above Cedric Van Pran by a spot. So excited to see him still retain that, but we wanted to move up a little bit more, show him a little bit more love. So John Michael Schmitz, got to show the guy some good love right there. Then we got a combination of Brian Breezy and Tyler Davis. Both of these guys are moving up. Breezy, not very much because, again, I still see some of those reps where he does look extremely ineffective. I'm not a huge fan when I see a guy look like a baller one play and then look absolutely ineffective the next. That's just my type of thing. I like consistency. But Tyler Davis deserves a lot more respect than even I was giving him. I had him actually graded higher than Breezy starting the year. But, I almost think that that's correct. Tyler Davis is freaky. I think he could be a first-round pick 100%. The dude just deserves all the hype in the world. He's a freak athlete. So big fan of Tyler Davis right there. Got to show him some love. Trent Simpson also continuing the gravy train. This game in general has a lot of stock up players. But Trent Simpson has been going off. Something that I had a big issue with was his field awareness. And he definitely didn't seem to be processing as well as he should have last year. And a very good indicator of that is how you play the run, and Trent Simpson's been playing the run extremely well. We all knew he was an elite athlete with a ton of potential, and now he's playing the run at an elite level. I think that definitely deserves him to be moving up right next to Noah Sewell, which I'm pretty sure if he plays one more week at this level, he's certainly going to jump him and get into that top 15 to top 20 range. Next, we have A.T. Perry. I told you guys, there's a lot of guys from this game. A.T. Perry looks really dominant. I'm not putting him into the second just yet, even though I end up drafting him there anyways. But he's 6'5". He has great movement skills, and he looks like a true wide receiver 1 out there. So, big fan of seeing somebody be able to lock it up like that. Next, we have Sam Hartman. Again, ending off the guys who are going up from this week in this game. Sam Hartman, I wanted to see a little bit more from him, and he's been consistent. Very good all around. And I've been seeing the plays that are not mesh concept. I hate mesh with a passion. Again, it's not very replicable in the NFL. The NFL is just way too fast for mesh concepts. So, he plays the mesh very well, but when he is out of the mesh, he still does a phenomenal job. Again, 146 isn't my final ranking on him. I just have that as a placeholder until I get to see even more from Sam. This man is a baller. Blake Corum, he has actually moved up into RB2 territory and graded out the exact same. So Blake Corum running back out of Michigan. Again, there is actually a 0.5 difference between number 1 and number 3 on my running backs. So I have them 35, 36, 37 at the moment. And those are Bijan, Blake, as well as Deuce Vaughn. So no, Blake Corum's been on a tear. Huge fan of Blake Corum. I think it's going to be a great running back class. It sucks for all these running backs who are probably more like senior. You look at Zach Charbonnet, who's my buddy, should have come out last year. I still put him in the second round, but with all actuality, there ain't no way in hell he deserves second round contention when there's 3 running backs that are way better, in like a whole different tier. And then you have guys like Jahmyr Gibbs, Eric Gray up in there. Like, there's some freaky dudes out there. Next, we have Tommy Eichenberg. So, yeah, Tommy Eichenberg is a really good player. Again, placeholder for him. He's been playing very well. I saw him last week and wrote him down, and I'm like, okay, let's see it again. And he played very well versus Wisconsin. So, big fan of Tommy Eichenberg. I could definitely see him making a day 2 appearance on our list. And then ending off the risers, there's actually a couple guys that I'll mention that I actually didn't feature in here. But Alex Forsyth, again, is just a placeholder value for him at 245. He's been playing very well, 0 pressures all year, so got to show the man some love. On the watch, we have a lot of guys. So TJ Tampa, one of them. You got a couple really good players from Cincinnati. I'm bugging on the defensive interior's name, but we got Ivan Pace as well. Both of them got 8 or 9 pressures, which is ridiculous. Then you got Hendon Hooker, who is obviously playing extremely well. And then you got ZTF. He went off this week, and I'm very excited to see that. RIP for the graphic on the colleges. But somebody who I do want to mention here is a wide receiver that I had not officially graded, and I had him probably in like the 150 to 200 range when I first thought about it. Actually, I think he was number 120. Regardless, he's moved up into the top 32, and his name's Justin Shorter. 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", whatever you want to call it. 223 pounds. Guy is just incredible. I literally see some George Pickens in him, and it's really scary because people just don't talk about him. So I got to show that guy some love. Cameron Ward as well from Washington State. He's number 88 on my board now. Just got to show some love to the guys who are getting official grades. Jared Verse is now in the top 15, and that's just only due to injury. So big fan of a lot of these guys. But let's go down to stock down. Jalen Duncan. People are thinking this guy is a shit. I saw him in the top 10 of a mock that I think I just did a mock-to-mock on. I'm sorry. I just can't see it. He's getting beaten by Yabi and Noma and stuff like that. He just doesn't look good, to be honest. He just doesn't look good at all. Not a fan of Jalen Duncan. I mean, he even let up pressures versus SMU. Just, in general, not a huge fan of Jalen Duncan. Next, you got Gervon Dexter. He just isn't as consistent as I want, and I love Gervon, but there's no way I can have him go from 11 or have him be a top 15 player if he's not just stopping every single play the way he should. Still a really good player, just not at number 11 overall. Next, we have Tyler Van Dyke, and I am very generous with this grade. Very generous. This is the that's actually the 3rd week in a row that he is moving down the board. He got benched versus Middle Tennessee State. Just embarrassing. I mean, just absolutely atrocious. He's been complete dog shit this entire year, apart from the first game where they put up 70. It's just so bad. It's really bad, and it sucks because I put my neck out on the line for him. Then you got Anton Harrison here, offensive tackle out of Oklahoma. Again, he moves down barely 10 spots. He doesn't even move down 10 spots. It's a significant jump. But, I mean, again, I made room for other guys like Jared Verse up there in the top 10. So he actually only slid down probably 6 spots. He just let up a couple pressures versus K-State. Yeah, there's guys like Felix Anudike-Uzomah that you have to defend. But you should be able to do that if you're going to be able to defend against guys like TJ Watt in the NFL. So, again, I just don't think he's as good of a prospect as I give him credit for. And then 2 quarterbacks that I'm watching. Anthony Richardson had a very good game, but I have him number 28 on my board, so I already know someone's going to come in trying to just, cuss me out about putting Anthony Richardson on a drop list. But the bottom line is he looks very uncomfortable still. Obviously, we know the fact that he has, those plays that are just god tier, but the simple fact is it's not consistent. And again, those turnover-worthy plays, he didn't throw. I don't think he threw any, according to PFF. But I watched every snap that he did. Just in general, his jitteriness, he just doesn't look comfortable out there. He needs time. I really hope he goes back for one more year because He's either going to get drafted in the top 15 by the Giants or somebody who I hope can develop him, or else I hope he goes back and gets even better there. Tanner Mckee, again, it's just based on where I have him on my board. They started introducing more mesh concept, and I just don't think NFL quarterbacks are really good for the mesh. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the far side. Peace.